All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Barstool Backstage. Every week on this show, we go through industry bullshit, what's going on in the music industry, label behind the scenes stuff, and this week it's at our doorstep. Here to talk about one of the biggest issues on the internet right now is Dave Portnoy. Dave, how are you today? Good. Let's get to just the start of this, because I feel like a lot of people listening kind of know what's going on with the diss track, the takedown. How did this start and where are we now?
So Bree obviously was dating Zach. They broke up. Zach's a scumbag. It was Josh's idea, so we do the podcast together. He has done a diss track before. He's like, we should, get in the booth and do a diss track. He wrote his lyrics. Roan helped me with mine. I wrote a couple. Austin, my guy. We spent all day filming it. It was like quite a long shoot. Came out great. Song's a banger. Released it, got taken down pretty quick. Mm-hmm. And we thought originally it got taken down because at the end of the song, we sing like a cappella style, like how lucky is Bree from How Lucky, the song he did. So we thought that was it. We thought that was what the issue was. So we cut that part out, re-uploaded it, got taken down again. So we're like, what the fuck's going on? Turns out Josh signed a music agreement with Warner Music Group in 2020. Didn't really tell us that. I've seen the contract. It's fairly ironclad. And that's why they're saying they own the whole music, the whole song. I still don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean I definitely own 50% of it at least. We talked to them today, Paul, our lawyer, and they're like, yeah, it's our fucking song. So it appears I'm going to have to do Dave's version. I'm going to have to get back in the booth and just re-record the thing without Josh. That's kind of where it's at. We also have quite a few more diss tracks written already that make this look like Mary Poppins. So I just don't really want to keep going. Like, I will, if I have to, I'll fucking make a whole album of diss tracks. I'd rather not. Like, it's a lot of time, energy. So we'll see what happens. We have our BFF podcast comes out tonight. I don't know when this thing comes out. Tomorrow. So then it came out last night. And it'll probably be the most watched BFF we've ever done. Like, Bree really doesn't go into all the details. She went into all the details with Roan of the relationship. Like, I've seen the diss track that Roan wrote, and it's insane. But I am operating still in a world where, like, Brianna calls the shots. Like, I am not going to expose or do things unless Brianna greenlights it.
So
now,
Dave,
I
was actually wondering that when this whole thing came out, where she stood on this whole thing, if you guys got her permission to record this.
So the original diss track really doesn't have any inside information in it. It's basically internet rumors and things that anybody could know. So, like, she really wasn't involved in that.
Right, but still, it's your friend, and that's their ex.
We weren't going to drop it without her at the end, green light to drop it. And I guess, like, she found out about it through an engineer where somehow alerted Warner Music Group. But yeah, I that's been the hardest part of the whole thing, is I'm starting to get too much information. And, like, you've kind of known me for long enough, Dante. I don't like to have information and then be told I can't use that information. Like, when people are like, hey, I'll tell you something, but you can't say anything. I'm like, well, then don't tell me. Like, I don't want to know. So I'm starting to know too much. And it's
not good stuff.
He's a dirtbag. Zach's a fucking dirtbag.
Dirtbag. So is it bad enough to the point where, I don't think this would happen, but hypothetically, if she were to try to get back together with him, you would put your foot down?
Well, I don't think I can. I won't support it. It would never happen. It would. Like,
it's too far gone.
It's already so far gone. The BFF people, but again, you guys haven't heard it, but it just won't. And I mean, the Roan lyrics, I don't think Zach or Warner Music Group is fully aware we have, like, a battle rapper on staff who's, like, just pumping out diss tracks at an alarmingly fast rate. So Yeah, that's kind of where it's at right now. I mean, like, again, a lot more will kind of, if this was recorded tomorrow, you'd have a lot more context. And I don't want to like give it away right now, but because again, it's not my story to tell ultimately, but it's like Zach starting, like it was Bree versus Zach versus Bree, however you want to look at it. I somehow started getting in the middle of the whole thing.
I mean, somehow is one thing, but the lyrics are music is infectious, penis is infected. I think you got in on it.
Well, that was like a well-known thing. That was talked about on Reddit. Like people were saying, a girl came forward being like, Zach gave me an STD. Bree confirmed it before when they're dating. She's like, yeah, it was before me. Zach told the girl. So like that, again, that was a confirmed thing. And maybe I'm so in this world because I'm on the podcast with Brianna and I've been defending and even at times defending Zach. Like that wasn't news to me, but yeah, that obviously, if that's something that's confirmed, you're gonna write about it.
It's gonna be in a diss track. Do you have Bree's blessing for the new diss track that Roan has, or no? I was confused there.
No, the new diss track would involve Bree. Like she'd be singing as well. And I think a lot of it, like to me, these diss track wars, if it's up to me, the Warner Music Group should just like let this one sit. Yes. Everyone's heard it anyways and just end the diss track war.
Yes.
But if you pull it and don't allow it, you like, all right, well, now I got to go do more. Like, so.
Agreed. I'm so much more invested in this than the Kanye Drake thing. I don't know why. It's just like it feels more personal and like less like big label kind of playing games and shit.
This is very personal. I mean, it has to be. It's crazy that Josh was signed to Warner Music Group. I mean, just a really unfortunate turn of events when that came out because I love Josh, but they weren't really like, they're kind of iffy. They're like, well, we may have done something. It won't matter. It's like, no, I saw it fucking matters. You have like a record deal with them.
It seems welcome to the music industry.
It seems crazy to not disclose that you have a publishing deal in the past while making a diss track. It was an important person.
Same label. Label. Yeah.
That's the crazy
it's like
part.
Potentially causing issues for Barstool. Hopefully it doesn't, but we're like disputing it. We're like, no, what are you talking about? There's no copyright. And meanwhile, it's like we couldn't figure out. They're like, we own the whole song. They're like, what are they talking about? They own the whole song. So yeah. And Josh thought there was a time like lapse on it, but it makes sense. A record label, because then someone could just wait to put out albums. But it seems like he had like it was after he did Still Softish. And I guess
if the art if the media was created like within the terms of that contract, then they basically own his portion of that, and that's why sync houses don't fuck with multiple writers on songs. They just immediately kill it. It's a nightmare.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, we paid for all the production, all the stuff. So I can, and we had our lawyers looked at. We weren't sure because I guess there's two elements of a song, like the masters and something else. They don't. They have no claim if I re-record. Like then it becomes. So that looks like what's going to happen if we put that one out. If Bree's going through emotional shit, obviously. And Roan texted me while I was on the last call. It's like, I got another one that's even worse than the one that you think is the worst. So if I were them, I would just leave it up and be done with the diss track wars because these are
that's what I wrote.
Really bad.
That's what I wrote yesterday. I said, if Warner was smart, they would completely ignore this whole thing, let it go away. But by like fighting you and taking it down, if you go and re-record this and you put out this Dave's version, it's going to be 10 times bigger and we'll get this to chart. Like,
yes.
You can easily get this to chart by yourself.
Totally. So yeah, I don't, and it's already out there. Like it's all over like social media, TikTok. Like I had videos
Johnny was saying before you came on that it's people are doing TikToks on it like all over.
Like I'm seeing like full high school classes, girls like doing like they're going crazy over it. Like they're going crazy over it. So it's already out. Like ours is down. The only thing they have, like, I will do it out of spite. I don't like, by the end of that shoot day, like, I was basically, I think the director thought he'd be like, do it again. I'm like, fuck no. Like, I was just over it. It's like, I'm done. We were there from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
I was saying before you came on, I was like, looking at the video, it's a lot of effort that Dave put in to record the song, to make the video, that stuff. Tons. That's a ton.
I had no idea what I was walking into. Like,
welcome to hell.
The cop car, like, we had full directors, full everything. So it was a long ass day. I mean, it was worth it. It's so good. And again, this thing just keeps kind of like, tonight.
I got a question. I would do anything out of spite, anything in the whole world. Would you go through that filming another video for another version?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Right, yeah. Okay. I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I hate fucking doing music videos. I've always
Me too. I hate it, but it's a lot easier to do it. I know how viral it. I mean, these things are like, it's all anybody was talking about, and it was going up and it was going down. And I can't tell if people are very invested. And again, it's a super serious like subject. It's already out. So if when this podcast comes out, like, the podcast will be gigantic. And it's just going to add a whole shit ton of fuel on this entire thing.
I'm sorry, but Warner, from their perspective, if they do own both sides of this, fucking play into it and let these songs keep running up these streams. Take the money. Let's go.
I was just going to say, at the center of any rap battle, the labels are always the worst people.
Yeah,
like, doesn't matter whose side you pick on any battle, the labels are always going to find a way to be like the dickheads.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do think Zach is pretty thin-skinned. He's kind of one of their golden gooses, I'm sure, right now. So I'm sure he's like, get rid of this. But I don't know what the end game is, because in the scheme of things that could be said, that was vanilla ice cream.
Is such a bitch move, though. You know,
crazy. I know.
Dave, what do you think's going through his head right now with all this?
He seems like he's trying to, like we used to say, blog through it. He's trying to put out music through it.
All that.
Like, he keeps releasing music. So again, if we record this the day after, you'd be like, oh my God. I don't want to say it's a career ruiner, because people do bad things and there's bad people and they still get supported. Like, the song, if I'm a fan, it's like, all right, bunch of shit. The stuff that comes out, it's just, it's like, this guy sucks.
What is the end game? Like, what if he came out tomorrow and is like, know what? I fucked up. I'm a piece of shit. I'm going to get better. I apologize to Bree. She deserves better. Would that make it kind of go away in a way? Or are you doubling down and being like, no, fuck you. You're only apologizing because you're in trouble.
I mean, again, it's one of those delicate. I follow her lead to a degree.
Yeah,
I have on this. Right. So she's like, just end it. I don't want to put this out. Like, we recorded a podcast the week we missed, and she axed it. So it's like, all right, we won't do it. If she didn't, in the end, green light. Like, there's a lot that comes out. That's the hardest part of me. Like, I mean, yes, that's the hardest part.
So you're right. This relationship is completely done. If that's where she's at, then that bridge is burned.
Done. 0.0.0.0% chance.
What if he wrote a really sweet, sincere, folksy song?
He already does. He's releasing every day.
I'm just joking.
He's a fucking legit psycho. Like, I mean, after the breakup to then be online and then like, hey, I'm releasing the breakup song like a second. He's out to lunch.
He's in the content game is what he is.
I don't like Bree's. I'm friendly with Bree. I don't want to say I'm friends with Bree. I'm friendly with Bree. He's already got another girlfriend, right? Because that's what the internet says.
If he does, I'm not aware of it. I don't know if he's just hooking up. I don't know.
I don't know either. But like, it's like, oh, this fucking guy.
So the two Daves here have both met him in person.
Mm-hmm.
Dave hung out with him at Backstage at Smokeout a few years ago. Dave,
I've hung out with him a couple times.
Portnoy, you obviously.
So I will say this, Dave. This was my take on him. It was a very brief interaction, and it was not this most recent summer, the summer before, so like 18 months ago or so. He's playing at a festival in Chicago, and we're backstage for it. And I was with Nick Fasoli. Fasoli's a huge country fan, and he's like, "That's Zach Bryan." I think Zach Bryan overheard him say, "Oh, that's Zach Bryan." Fasoli, he's like, "Yeah, I work for Barstool." And this is when they first started, like, there was rumors that they were dating. Zach Bryan came up to me, and when he heard Barstool, it was instant. Like, he flipped a switch to, like, it was like a kiss ass thing. And I saw right through that. And he, like, handed me my phone. He's like, "Oh, let me take a picture with Nick Fasoli." And I was like, you don't actually, like, why are you doing this? You know, it was like for show.
Yeah.
And that always rubbed me the wrong way about him, like, from the get-go. Like,
yeah, so I went to a show in Chicago, Plan Bree's show, sat next to him. I thought he was a nice enough guy. That was before maybe he hit the level of fame. I had incidents that happened with him that it wasn't face-to-face. It was like he banned me from going to his show at the Super Bowl, banned me and Josh, because we were joking with Bree on the podcast like 6 months. Right when they started, Bree had, and people misconstrued it. She wasn't like cheating. It's like she had a couple boyfriends. Me and Josh are like, "Oh, you're a revolving door of boyfriends." Somebody sent it and he freaked out. That was a red flag. It's like, does he not know like what we do? Like, we're busting each other's balls. He's not even in the picture yet. We had that incident. Then he was on my side because I defended Bree. And then we went to the concert. The concert, I don't know how to. He was nice. He was overly nice. It wasn't.
That's
like
what it was.
Rude.
It was over. It was.
It was. You were just like not comfortable to what you're saying. It's like almost such a try hard to be.
It was insincere.
Like, "Oh, I'm honored that you showed up." It's like, what does that mean? Like, you're a superstar. You're honored. I'm fucking here. He also did kick Miss Peaches out of the dressing room, which infuriated me.
I mean, she's literally the most. She's just there
for no reason either. But he was just. You meet people, and you're just like, you're not comfortable. You're not like it doesn't feel genuine. That's how he was super nice when he like. I mean, I sang on stage with him. I did all this stuff, but it was off. That's all I can say. And I think as me and Bree have talked more about it, she knew I never liked him, and he never liked me. Hated Barstool. Hated it.
One of those guys.
Yeah, hated it.
Dude,
really?
Are you sure?
Hated it. Positive.
Oh, I thought he was like the biggest Barstool guy in the world. That's why I thought he like was first attracted to Bree.
Hated it.
Oh,
Hates
no.
Barstool.
Really?
Hates everyone. Yep. Hates
Well,
us.
I'll say this. I was always like, my spidey sense was always tingling with him because of how big he is. And Warner Music, this is the difficult part of this whole mess, is Warner Music fucking loves us. They love Barstool. They love Backstage. Dave, they did that huge thing in Nashville for us during CMA Fest at the Barstool Bar. They feed us their biggest stars all the time without us even asking. They're like, "Do you want to do an interview with so-and-so?" They're the best. We have asked for access to Zach 500 times. "Hey, he's doing this show. We're going to be there. Can we meet?" He will do no media, no interviews, nothing. And they say, you know, we tell him how much we love you. He loves Barstool. He just doesn't want to do any media. And I've always been like, that's so fucking weird for a guy who's as big as he is and as outspoken as he is on social media. Why is he so afraid to have a sit down actual discussion with somebody? And it's got to be because he's just a fucking weirdo. And
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, again, if none of this happened, it's easy to go in hindsight and point now that broke. I also don't generally, as a rule of thumb, people who tweet, delete. I hate that. That's like a pet peeve of mine. Like, if you're going to say something, fucking wear it, own it. Don't be like Kanye is better than Taylor Swift. Delete it and then apologize 1,000 times. That's like, give me a break with that shit. So, but then you hear everything. It kind of confirms the bias. So you're like, oh, I was right about this guy. I don't know. It's, I mean, he's fucking huge. It's weirdly, I started liking his music. I didn't even know who the fuck he was. Like when I first heard the name, I thought she was dating Luke Bryan. And then like as it progressed, when I was on stage for like Revival, I really had not listened to the song at all. I had to learn it on the way there. So, and when Bree asked me to do it, I was like, well, if I was in the crowd and it was me, I'd be like, bring it like Bruce Springsteen did it. Now you're bringing it up, Dave. So I was like, I really don't want to. If you have nobody to do it, I will do it.
It was Gillette, dude. It was Gillette. Stop.
I know.
It wasn't like it was LA. It wasn't like it was.
But would you rather someone who can actually sing or like me? I would rather somebody.
I mean, you're pretty big in the Massachusetts, New England.
No, I know, but there's still like plenty of people. And if you even see the video, I go up, I run the fuck off stage. I'm up there for like 10 seconds, and it's like in my head trying to redo it. So listen, he's. I don't know what the next. There's a lot more coming. That's all I can say. There's a lot more.
I don't know if it's fucked up, but God, I hope we get another one. I hope this keeps going, man.
I hope he responds. I want a fucking country. Just do a diss track.
That's where it's your lose-lose. Like, he's really upset. If you write a diss track about me, I'm going to be like, make a rap video out of it. Like, I'm going to play it and it'll be my video. So it's kind of when one guy has the thickest skin in the world and like, really can't be insulted, and the other guy's very thin skin, it's tough to get into like a rap battle or country battle. Like, what's it gonna say about me? Everything's been said about me. Like, so
not fair.
what's it gonna say?
Like soft folksy battle doesn't work.
Yeah, dude, if he comes back with soft folksy, let us write the fucking soft folksy song back. We can do that shit. Or Johnny.
I wrote that.
I was gonna say,
Johnny,
Johnny, actually, if you don't feel like doing any more work, Johnny has this fucking AI song creator that can create 1,000 songs in a minute.
Yeah, it's great. The AI has changed it.
Here you go. This is one.
I've never liked the dude named Zach. I've never been a fan of a guy called Brian.
Yeah, I mean, it is way too fucking
there's no fucking way I'm gonna trust a little man named
and
Zach.
You also need
kill it, Johnny.
You actually, when you do like everyone's offering to like do the diss track, you need people involved. Like it has to be me, it has to be Bree, it has to be Josh. You just can't have like a rando who can. Then it loses its punch. You know,
I'm just saying, if you don't feel like doing any more work, we got a computer that can do 1,000 songs in a minute. If you
and make it sound like me, you're saying
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's just the thing. It doesn't matter if it's a diss track or a real song. People want honesty, so they want you.
Yeah.
Like, it means nothing if it's somebody else.
Now, on the pantheon of spiteful Barstool grudges right now, where does he fall? Like, give me a barometer, like compared to Bernstein right now, more or less than Bernstein.
More than Bernstein, but not. It's weird because it's not me personally, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like, I mean, I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, you got the bottle?
Yeah.
You got the champagne bottle?
Oh no!
Yeah,
this poor
it's engraved there.
Oh no!
Because I got more in it, which will come out, than I ever anticipated being in it, and then it's like, oh, I'm fucking in it. But it's not me personally. But I am friends with Bree, and he's an overall like some of my beefs. You could argue maybe the people aren't bad people. Maybe they've done bad things to Barstool or me. I think he's a pretty bad guy. From now, everybody has, maybe he'll come out and be like, you just got half the fucking story, but I don't fucking think so based on, let me check that. No fucking way. I can't believe it because there's just too much.
Bree's a good person, man.
She's a good girl, yeah.
Yeah, Bree's not like scummy and one of those like kinds of girls. So it sucks she got played by somebody like that.
Do you think she could upgrade to a better Zach from the country world? Zach Top?
Ooh.
Zach.
There's a lot of Zachs.
I mean, he's like the biggest guy in country, right?
Right
Brian?
now, one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably.
It's crazy. I don't know what it probably won't affect him, except people just being like, oh, this guy's a dickhead.
Unless he feeds into it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like Drake trying to come back on Kendrick kind of thing. Like if Zach comes back, you're going to be like, that was your big mistake, big dog.
I don't think he's going to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think his move was trying to get the diss track down, play dumb, maybe go a little sympathy card. put out more songs. I think it's really just songs. He's going to try to song his way out of this.
I don't think it's going to work. To be honest.
No.
Not when you have Dave Portnoy on the opposite side.
Nope.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like if you were going to get in a relationship with a girl, like I honestly think if he didn't fuck it up at the end and handle it like it's such a douche, Bree may have just let this thing go. But yeah, it's kind of like she's on a podcast with me and John. Like, what do you think's going to happen here? So crazy.
It's just like the biggest new media company on the internet. Nobody.
Can I get conspiratorial for a second? Are you guys all in on this? Because this is like the best press you could fucking put together.
It's not good press for Zach. It is not good press. There's no realm where people will be like, this is good press for Zach. This is like bad human press.
I'm glad that people are going to get to hear BFFs before they hear this, so they'll have some fucking context behind everything that was said. But
there's a lot of context. And I think people's respect and sympathy for Bree will go like way up. She's had a tough year.
Well, we're going to find out tomorrow. Dave, we appreciate the time. Before you get out of here real quick, anything new you're listening to? Because I do know just from following you, you got some, and you love bands like the Revivalists who are friends of the program. Anything you've been listening to?
Love. They're one of my favorites. No, I mean, I was really doing a lot of Taylor because I went to the concert not too long ago.
What'd you think of her live show, by the way?
Unbelievable. I think it's like one of the more impressive, like how long it is and how long she goes and how hard and day after day. Her performance with the crowd make it something that like really nobody can recreate. Like the environment is just every single song acting like she just sang the greatest song ever. And it was a surprise song when everybody pretty much knows what's coming, word for word, move for move, dress for dress. And they still like, oh my God, it's just crazy. It really is.
The production level and crew level at that level is fucking wild.
She has to employ a small army, like legitimately for like how
you gotta have hundreds of employees, right?
Easy.
Yeah.
I wonder how many semis they bring. Kenny and Johnny, how many semis?
I bet you if I had to guess, she's running like 25 buses, 40 semis, and a bunch of box trucks. Like
how much was AWOL like when you guys were at your peak? What were you guys?
We were running 2 buses and a semi, which is big for a
light work.
Yeah.
Light work.
When we were out with Kings of Leon, they had 11 buses, 12 semis. That was for like nothing close to the production.
We did a Fall Out Boy tour, and each of them had their own bus. And guess who never stepped foot on any of those buses? Any of them? No, they're just
really?
Yeah.
we opened for Bon Jovi, and they had like 20 buses or 20 buses and 20 semis. So yeah.
Taylor, that was the other thing, by the way, that reminds me, I can ask you guys. A lot of people said there's nothing to it. I thought it was weird when I was at the concert. Zach had a gigantic dressing room.
Yeah.
And all his band guys are crammed into this little like hallway dressing room, which I thought was very odd.
Way.
I don't like that.
100% that's weird.
You say that's weird. But that was my experience. Everything started off as like a group effort, and then as the band got bigger and bigger, we were back here.
Yeah, of course. Their like, dressing room like that
was fucking tiny, cluttered, and he had a gigantic room, and he was like by himself in it.
Perfect.
Don't love that.
Perfect. Don't make me like him.
Yeah, I thought it was odd. I thought it was, and I said it before any of it broke. I'm like, I find it really weird how they did that.
Yeah, you gotta suffer with your boys.
Miss Peaches was in the bigger dressing room with Brianna's Jack and Boston, the dogs, which she told me to do. And she's like, yeah, you can stay there. I was going in and out of the concert to check on Peaches. And one time I walked in, Zach was with Peaches, like moving Peaches to the smaller room, be like, oh, I hope you don't mind. I mean, what am I going to say? It's like, no, but I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you moving Miss Peaches? And Miss Peaches is the easiest dog. She'll just
the easiest dog of all time. She's just there.
Yeah. So that rubbed me the wrong way too in real time. I'm like, what? Why are you moving Miss Peaches?
Dude, a lot of times they'll even put somebody like him, like if everybody's staying in hotels, he stays at this hotel and all the touring musicians stay at this hotel.
Do that. I'll do that to the Barstool guys. Totally. Fuck that. They're not getting an expensive hotel. But if we're at a venue, I would never be like, Barstool people are all crammed in. I'm sitting in. I would never do that. I'm always in the same.
Well, especially the size of venues he's doing, it's not like there's 2 dressing rooms. There's like literally as many rooms as you could hope for.
Well, yeah, if you're in a stadium, you're in locker rooms is basically where you are. Like you can be in a fucking locker room.
It was odd.
Dave,
that was
all you need to do is drop that Miss Peaches story on social media and his career.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I didn't think about that.
It's in the podcast. It's in the podcast.
We're living through times here, boys.
He's a dead man.
I don't even know what he was doing. It was just a weird move. It was a weird, and like I don't know. It's a weird move. Bree didn't even know. I'm like, did you know that happened? But I was. It's like I caught. It's like, what? Why are you moving her right now?
Don't move my dog.
That's my fucking
it's like. And I worked it all out with Bree. Bree's like, bring it, stays with the dogs. Like the other 2 dogs stayed in the room, and Peaches was like booted out. It made no sense.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you gotta put her in the next music video.
Yeah.
We almost put them in the current one. Austin wanted to, and they had cop outfits to be chasing, but it was because I had Pete the Beagle, but the parking lot was like open. And I was not going to risk that with not Peaches. Peaches is a slow mover, but Pete the Beagle could be like, he gets spooked. So I wasn't going to do it.
Love it. All right. Thank you big time for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.